Three, two. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the FilmBrony Podcast, created by FilmBrony himself, Soren Saunders, on his Board Thunders Productions channel, and under new management by me for ever since episode 5. Welcome to the podcast. I'm your host, Nick Canino, and with me are the two other guys joining me. So, would you like to introduce yourselves?
Hi, my name is Christian Frates. I'm an aspiring voice actor and YouTuber with autism. I've got 2.5 subscribers lately, 2.5 thousand subscribers.
Nice.
Yep. And I can't wait to show you what I got for Decemberween.
And I'm FilmBrony, also known as Board Thunder Productions, and I was the original one who made this whole podcast. And but due to some things that we're not gonna get into, we kind of migrated onto next channel. Now, before we begin, you may notice that my setup's a little different. Well, that's because one of my Christmas presents was a new mattress, as you can see here.
Nice. And you'll notice that I'm wearing a hat. Well, that's because it's not only chilly out here and where I'm living, but because my hair is all messed up. So I thought, what the hell? I'll just wear a hat.
Now, before we get into our movie reviews, would you two like to share what you got for Christmas?
Well, I got a limousine shirt. Well, all right. And I got these.
Space Ghost, you have a guest on your show, and it's not the Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Nice.
And I got this limited edition. My pal Richard Epcars voiced Raiden in Mortal Kombat, but unfortunately he didn't voice in this.
I see.
I've been a fan of Tony J, and that's why I wanted this.
I have it on Blu-ray too.
Do you know who Tony J was?
Yes.
Like fire, hellfire.
I do not just know him as that, but he also voiced Magneto from X-Men Legends, as well as the Elder God from The Legacy of Kain.
I should also mention that I think I also heard his voice in some home video trailers that he narrated for some VHS copies I have, the rare ones from the early 90s.
And I got the Evil Dead remake, and it has a groovy cameo by Ash Williams.
Nice. That's
need to see those movies.
Very good remake.
My pal Richard Epcar was involved in the original anime. Did you know that?
Oh, wow.
I still need to see both versions myself. I may get that the anime on the Best Buy Steelbook, because it looks kind of nice.
Richard Epcar would be happy if you got it.
Nice.
Under the Red Hood, one of the best DC films out there. No wonder Nick and I nominated it in Best Animated Feature in the Cinemalog Awards.
Yeah.
I personally consider this better than the 2014 one, because it has more of the turtles.
Didn't care for this one, but hey, at least I'm glad you. But hey, at least you liked it, which I'm very happy for you for.
That's all I showed.
Okay, so I got a bunch of movies and a couple of games, and then the comic book I have. I want to show the comic book and the video game first before I get to the movies. First up is a My Little Pony Friendship's Magic Volume 3 comic book. I've been waiting to get this since for Christmas. Now I have Now I have like three volumes of these so far.
Cool.
3 volumes of these. There's still 2 more in existence, and there's going to be a volume 6 of the Omnibus comic books coming in January. So looking forward to getting that. And then for a couple games, I got Mario Kart Deluxe 8, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Absolutely my favorite Mario Kart game so far.
I also got these from my Switch. My personal favorite Switch game is Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3.
Nice. And I also got Super Mario 3D All-Stars as well.
So long, Bowser! But if Hotel Mario would say it, it's
So long, ye Bowser.
Oh my god. And then as for movies, I got one of the most underappreciated films of last year, Clint Eastwood's Richard Jewell.
I heard decent things about that movie.
I think it's a great movie. And Kathy Bates really deserved that Oscar nomination for her performance. She was great.
It's okay, Michael Scott. You can pet my dogs.
And then I got another overlooked gem from last year, Dark Waters with Mark Ruffalo.
I've heard of that movie. Not just
Anne Hathaway.
It's a wonderful film, and it's powerfully acted too. It's from the director of Carol and Far From Heaven and Safe, and he's directed another great movie like this one. So, yeah, I highly recommend giving this one a watch. And then for 2021s, I got this one, Emma. Now I know a lot of people found this movie good, and some found it okay. To me, though, I love this movie. Yeah, it's not the best period piece film ever, but I had a lot of fun watching this movie, and it's one of my favorite movies I've seen this year.
Anya Taylor-Joy is a great actress, in my opinion.
She is for sure. And then I got one of my favorite movies of this year, Tenet.
I have Tenet on digital HD, and I'm excited to watch it before the year ends.
Nice.
I'm gonna get the Blu-ray as soon as it's on a good price.
All right. And then I got another overlook. And then I got one of my favorite movies of this year, Bajillionaire.
Evan Rachel Wood.
Yeah, she's great in the movie, and so is Richard Jenkins and Deborah Winger. But it's Gina Rodriguez that absolutely steals the show. She's
kind
that great.
Kind of like how Jesus stole the show in The Big Lebowski.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a wonderful film. It's wonderfully unpredictable throughout, and this is a film I highly recommend giving this one a watch. It's one of the best movies I've seen this year. And then, last but not least, I now have the first 3 Criterion Collection DVDs.
Cool beans.
First off, one of my favorite movies from 2018, Roma.
Wow.
I'm
the director of Gravity.
And Children of Men and Prisoner of Azkaban.
Yep.
Yeah. I love Alfonso Cuarón. And while I did love Gravity, which was one of my favorite movies of 2013, this I think is his masterpiece. In my opinion, this is a masterpiece. It's a wonderful film, and it's worth checking out. It may not be for everybody though, since it is a very slow burn pace film, but it works here, and it's well worth a watch. Especially since there's this one scene. I'm not gonna get into what happens, but there's this one scene that was done in one take, and I was like, how did they do this? How the hell did they do this all in one take? This is unbelievable. Once you see it, you'll know what I'm talking about. Next up, another Netflix movie that the Criterion Collection distributed for DVD and Blu-ray, and one of my favorites from last year, Noah Baumbach's Marriage Story.
My pal Brock Baker did a spoof of it, but instead of Scarlett Johansson and Adam Driver, it's Mickey Mouse
And Goofy.
I love that movie. It's pretty much this generation's Kramer versus Kramer.
Yes, I agree. And I should have put this in the top 20 best. I mean, it was a wonderful film. While it's not my favorite of the Noah Baumbach movies, I still think The Squid and the Whale is my favorite. This is definitely one of his very, very best, for sure. And last but not least, my number 2 film of last year, The Irishman. I love this movie, and I love this movie very, very much. It's definitely my number 5 favorite Martin Scorsese film. Yeah, it nearly dethroned Casino as being my number 5 favorite Martin Scorsese film. And that's something. Seriously, The Irishman is one of the best Martin Scorsese movies that I've seen. If you have not seen it, check this one out. All right, so that'll do it for the Christmas skits that I have.
Now, my Christmas gifts is going to be kind of lackluster compared to yours, but I hope I'll make up for my Blu-ray pickups. First up, I got this pair of socks.
Nice.
Good.
I got this bottle of essential oil. And I got a $25 Fandango gift card, which will be pretty good for whenever movie theaters open in my area.
I also got a Burger King and Dunkin' Donuts gift card.
Nice. And I got a $70 Visa gift card, a $70 eBay gift card, and you're not going to believe this, a $200 Amazon gift card.
I got a $100 Amazon gift card myself, which I can't show because it was sent to me digitally.
Nice.
Now, as for my Blu-ray pickups, I got quite a ton of them. First off, I got the first 2 Addams Family movies.
Nice.
Barry Sonnenfeld directed them, of MIB fame.
Yeah, it was his directorial debut too. Arthur Christmas.
Quite underrated by Sony
Wonderful
Pictures
animated.
animation standards.
Very good animated film.
Then I got Babe and Babe Pig in the City.
I love the first Babe movie, and Babe Pig in the City was very good too.
Next I have The Karate Kid.
Nice.
A classic.
And I also
It
have the remake as well.
Nice.
I also have Little Women by Greta Gerwig.
One of the best movies I saw last year. I remember when Mom and I saw that in theaters, we were moved by every single minute of it. In fact, I also have it right here.
Neat.
Yeah.
Now, I know that this is technically Ben Affleck's weakest film directorial-wise, but I found it for $1, and I figured I might as well get it. Live by Night.
Nice.
Next, I have Moonstruck.
A classic. The Criterion, by the way, the Criterion Collection released that movie last month on DVD and Blu-ray.
Next, I have Mystery Men.
Nice.
Next, I have one of the more underrated Christmas movies, The Nativity Story.
My dad liked that because he's a full-blown Christian.
That's a good movie.
And it's kind of sad that the director of this went on to jumpstart one of the most controversial movie franchises of all time.
Yeah.
Next, since this is Boxing Day today, this kind of fits the Rocky collection.
Sweet.
Next, I have the Rush Hour collection.
Nice.
Next, I have all three Santa Clauses in this pretty cool steel book.
Sweet.
Next, I have Sweeney Todd.
One of Tim Burton's best movies.
Now, I know this is not really the best of the franchise, but I thought it was okay, and it was pretty cheap. Terminator Dark Fate.
Yeah, it was all right. It was all right. It's definitely better. It's definitely not as bad as a lot of people say it is. I thought it was all right.
Yeah. And,
Good thing James Cameron was involved with writing the story.
Yeah. And last but not least, the first two Toy Stories.
Nice.
And those are for my Blu-ray pickups. Now, I got a whole ton of movie reviews here, some ranging from terrible to extraordinary. So, how would you like to arrange them? Do you want me to go over the worst first and then the best, or the best first and then on to the worst?
I would say get over the bad ones first.
Okay, so
let's get over the worst first.
All right, first up, now a movie about the pandemic. It seems pretty. Seems like a genuine concept, but in terms of execution, yeah. My first review is Songbird.
I'm going to be joining Soren on this because you know what? Fuck it. I don't care that my hair is messed up because folks, I found a movie that's worse than Fantasy Island.
That's saying something. Yeah, this movie was absolute garbage. With a cliché plot for a movie inspired by this pandemic, poor cinematography and lighting, and characters who talk and act like robots who saw a bajillion romance stories, I'd say this is the worst movie one can possibly make to capitalize on these current events. Plus, it tries to have this anti-quarantine message that seems more preached than anything. And I know it's saying something, but not since Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close have I ever seen a movie that exploited a tragedy just for cheap drama. There is literally no reason to see this. 1 out of 10, D-. And
now, it's time to talk about mine. I didn't do a essay review on this yet, but I'm planning to do it like next week on my Facebook page. I promise for real this time. But never have I seen a movie this offensively disgusting, this distasteful, and this irresponsible since all the way back in 2015 when I saw 50 Shades of Grey. This is the worst movie I've seen this year. To say it's the worst movie I've seen this year would be an understatement. This is one of the most disgusting and irresponsible things I've ever seen put to film. When the trailer dropped in October, it was poorly received by critics and audiences who aimed towards the production and the poor timing due to the pandemic, and usually I don't like to like be on that bandwagon but for this one, I'm gonna have to, because to any other filmmakers out there, do not make a movie based on that's based on the pandemic in the middle of the pandemic. That is poor timing and very distasteful. And what's even worse about this movie, and why this is one of the worst films I've seen in my life, is because of two things. One, the romance subplot. You thought the romance subplot in Pearl Harbor was bad? Get a load of this shit in Songbird. They try to throw in this romance thing between KJ Apa and Sophia Carson's characters. And while they did try their best at what they were given, it's how they were written that completely wasted the talents. Worst of all, I already mentioned that KJ Apa and Sophia Carson all have their talents wasted in this movie. But, oh my God, Craig Robinson, Peter Stormare, Alexandra Daddario, Demi Moore, Paul Walter Hauser, Bradley Whitford? What are you guys doing in this? What a waste of their talents. Yeah. So back to what I was saying about the romance subplot. It feels shoehorned in. And worst of all, it's so poorly executed, especially since this movie is involving the pandemic. And another thing that really pissed me off about this movie, why this is the worst film I've seen this year, is its message. Excuse me. Not only is the story all over the place, but the movie doesn't even know what message it's trying to go for. At one time it tries to go for this message on fight for your rights when it doesn't work because it's a movie involving the pandemic. And then there's another message they try to throw in where it's involving love conquers all, which is absolutely one of the most despicable and, dare I say it, evil messages to put in your film that's involving an ongoing pandemic. That is disgusting. The script is the absolute worst of the year. Now, this movie is so poorly written. With its atrocious dialogue, terrible characterization, and really, really bad tone. Inconsistent tone, I should say. The directing is shit. The action is shit. And let me explain why the action is shit. Because it has the worst cinematography and editing I've seen put to film all year. I had a headache watching this movie because of how poorly edited it was, like how they try to use some of the quick cuts, which did not work. And when they try to go for the shaky cam in the action sequences in Songbird, it fell very flat, especially since this is what the action sequences look like. I'm going to give a demonstration with this. It's basically like this. I mean, Michael Bay has really made some stupid stuff in the past, but this is the lowest of low I've ever seen him go under so far. And he even didn't direct this movie. He was the producer of it under his Platinum Dunes company, and he really should have known better than to make something like this. But then again, this is from the same guy that brought us those crappy action films, minus Bad Boys, The Rock, and 13
the
Hours.
first Transformers.
Yeah, it's just the first Transformers, but you guys get the point. And 13 hours.
I haven't seen Songbird, and I never will, because it sounds ridiculous. Not to mention that they should have made it once the pandemic ends or years after it ends, and it's best to keep certain content in films out of the context of current events, kind of like how Lilo and Stitch was rewritten due to the September 11 attacks. Instead of a plane that Stitch is hijacked following Gantu to Honolulu, he instead follows Gantu with a spaceship at volcanoes and mountains.
And honestly, that's a better ending than that's a better ending that we got than what was originally planned, because there would have been a lot of controversy if the original ending was released.
Yeah, really.
Songbird is one of the worst movies I've seen in my life. To the upcoming filmmakers out there, do not film a movie that's about the pandemic in the middle of the ongoing pandemic. That is poor timing. Very, very poor timing. My apologies if I'm getting like oversensitive about this, but it's just this movie really pissed me off to no end because of its poor timing and its poor execution.
There's a quote from Futurama that reminds me every time I think of bad films. I think of Calculon saying, "That was so terrible, I think it gave me cancer," even though he's a robot and he technically doesn't get cancer.
Oh man, that was I remember that. That was funny. Yeah, it's one of the worst movies I've seen in my life. It's absolutely one of the most disgusting, despicable, disrespectful, and irresponsible things I've ever seen in my 8 years of doing movie reviews. 0 out of 10, or an F.
Or as I would say, an F minus minus.
Worst movie I've seen this year, and I'll probably go into more details about this in January when we do the next podcast, and we do the 10 worst films that I saw in 2020. But yeah, this movie, do not see it. Do not watch it on demand. It is not worth your time whatsoever. This movie is an absolute disgrace, and those who made it, such as Michael Bay and Adam Mason, should be downright ashamed of themselves. Just like I should be for having to watch it.
All right. So, as for my next review, I have a little riddle for you guys. What do you get when you take a director who was at his prime but lost his footing with only his second movie, only to have him make a biopic of one of the most notorious criminal gangsters, sitting around being old, mumbling and crapping his guts out? You get
Josh Trank.
Yeah, you get 2020's answer to Gotti, Capone. Man, what a snooze this was. Like the New Mutants, this takes what should have been an interesting, dark take on this notorious gangster and just makes little to no effort on having anything actually happen. And Tom Hardy's take on Capone is so idiotic with his overbearing accents and slurring. I'm not kidding when I say he's making his role in Venom look like a Danny Day-Lewis performance. I'm not kidding. And the final act of this movie...
Oh God!
Seeing him run around seen him run around in a bathrobe, in a diaper, using a carrot as a cigar, blasting away people with a golden gun. I mean, tell me this wasn't a scene from a Mel Brooks parody or something. Because seriously, who is gonna see that and take it seriously?
Soren, I also showed you that image as well, and I warned you that this would be like this bad.
Was Capone going through the quad and into the gymnasium?
So yeah, this is a complete bore fest with little action, and whatever action there is, it's just so stupid. It's like Josh Trank wanted to make a parody of this guy, as opposed to an actual biopic. So yeah, skip this one, stick to The Irishman, 2 out of 10, D.
And the only Josh Trank movie I would like to watch is Chronicle, and for good reasons.
You should check that one out.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, as for my next review, it doesn't get much better, does it?
Nope.
Now, Alfred Hitchcock's Best Picture winner, Rebecca, is widely regarded as one of his very best. With fine acting, directing, and intrigue, it's no wonder that this was the movie that first got him on the spotlight. What's the more that I can say about this pointless remake? Now, as for the positives, the performances are decent. It looks kind of nice in the production design and costume work. And that's it. That's all positives I can say about this movie. Now it's time to rip this disaster apart. Unlike in the original movie, the two leads have awkward chemistry, which is shoved down your throat by its cringy 25 minutes that make me feel like I was like watching a Lifetime original movie. Once they actually move into this house, I thought it was going to get better. But guess what? It didn't. I like the original classic, which used Hitchcock's signature visuals and dialogue to build up the suspense of Rebecca's disappearance. This movie tries to do it with its boring exposition, obnoxious editing and effects, and its creepy dream sequences. I'm sorry, I thought Hitchcock was the master of intrigue and subtlety, not the master of cheap as hell gothic smock. Then the last 15 minutes where, without spoiling the original movie, questions are being answered okay, but kind of bland and not nearly worth sitting through an hour and a half of bull crap to go through. So overall, Rebecca 2020 is nothing more than an example of how not to try and honor a Hitchcock classic. I mean, it's not nearly as bad as Psycho 98, but this one's still terrible. And if you're looking for a romantic thriller to steal your emotions, avoid this one at all costs. Just watch the original 1940 classic again. Oh, and one more thing. This is officially strike 3 of trying to remake a well-regarded Best Picture winner behind All the King's Men and Ben-Hur. So I have a message to those making that West Side Story remake. If you even think about spitting on the face of that Robert Wise masterpiece, I'm seriously gonna lose it. So Rebecca 2020, 3 out of 10, D+. Not the absolute worst, but still painful to sift through.
You know what's a great remake? Jon Favreau's The Jungle Book.
Yeah.
Yes. And one of the best movies I saw from 2018, A Star is Born.
Yeah, because they take the good aspects of the original and improve on it significantly with some new twists, not rehashing it.
Exactly.
And it doesn't get much better on my next review. And I have another riddle for you guys. What do you get when you cross the Beverly Hillbillies with blatantly obvious Oscar bait? You could possibly
Hillbilly Elegy.
Yeah, possibly Ron Howard's worst film. And it's kind of hard to say this since I haven't seen the Da Vinci Code movies or that ship movie. What's it called? In the Heart of the Sea. But this one's still pretty bad. Much like Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close, this movie thinks it's so important with its message, which is not, especially considering its predictably melodramatic storyline. Now, although can be forgiven if the characters are likable, guess what? They're not.
None of them are.
Everybody's a complete asshole, which makes it hard to connect with anyone. And they just waste the talents of Amy Adams and Glenn Close by forcing them to talk in cheesy as hell accents. But the upside is, it's kind of fun to riff fun with friends on what an overall joke of an Oscar tryhard it's become. So, if you're looking for 2020's answer to The Room, I almost recommend this movie ironically. But if you've seen this as an actual family drama, consider yourself disappointed. Now,
I had a FaceTime with Nick, and he and I agreed that we're better off watching Apollo 13 or A Beautiful Mind instead of that piece of crud.
Now, as for my rating, I'm going to use Jill Apocalypse's ratings and give this a negative review for ironic enjoyment. I'm going to give this a negative 4 out of 10, or C-.
Okay. Now here's my take on this, because this is one of the worst movies I've seen this year. When I saw Velvet Buzzsaw last year, which, Dan Gilroy, what happened to you, man? First Nightcrawler, first Roman J. Israel Esquire, and now this? Come on, man. You made one of the best movies of 2014 with Nightcrawler. I really hope his next movie's
nominated.
Yeah, he should have been nominated for sure. Excuse me. But yeah, when I saw Velvet Buzzsaw, I didn't think I would see a Netflix movie that I would hate much more than that one. I was wrong. So this Hillbilly Elegy movie is based on it's supposed to be based on a true story. It's supposed to be based on the inspiring true story and based on the book of the same name about, let me look this up really quick. So it's supposed to be about these Apollochian values of JD. It's supposed to be about JD Vance, and it's supposed to be about the Apollochian values of the Kentucky family and the relation to the social problems of JD Vance's hometown of Middletown, Ohio, where his mother's parents moved when they were young. So to say this is one of the worst movies I've seen this year would be an understatement. This is one of the most boring, idiotic, and flat out inept movies I've seen this year. This movie tries way too hard to be one of those Oscar baity dramatic movies, and as a result, came up more as being one of those Lifetime made for TV Lifetime Movie Network films. The only positives I did have with the film is that there are some good performances by Glenn Close, which she was easily the best thing about the film, hands down. And the makeup they did on her was very well done. Especially when you see the real life picture of the grandmother at the end. I was like, they did a well done job with that. And also Haley Bennett gives out a very good performance, and the two actors that played both the young and adult versions of JD Vance, Gabriel Basau and Owen Astalos. I do apologize if I mispronounced that. They were very good. And it's a beautiful looking film. too. The cinematography is absolutely beautiful. Sadly, though, that's where the positives end. That's where the positives end, because the story's a convoluted mess. The script is beyond... The script is one of the worst of the year, since it's beyond poorly written, especially with the dialogue and the characterization. Like, every character in this movie, minus Glenn Close's character, is an unlikable idiot. Especially Amy Adams' character. Now, I get it. I get it. Now I get it. This happened in real life, and it was based on a true story. But there's a difference between potential and the execution. And the execution and how it was executed here was very, very poorly done. And I was very disappointed in Amy Adams in the film. I love Amy Adams, but oh my God. This is her worst performance since Leap Year. Fucking Leap Year. I'm not even kidding. She plays the drug addict mother in the... She plays the drug addict mom of J.D. Vance. And to say she's over the top and would be an understatement. Her performance in the film is overacting 101. Especially to the point where it is just unintentionally hilarious. Yeah, this movie is more of an unintentional comedy than just a straight up drama. That's one of the biggest problems with the film. The fact that it takes itself way too seriously, and the fact that the characters in this movie are beyond unlikable, and because of how poorly written the script is. Especially in this one scene where J.D. Vance gets into a fight with his mother. I'm not even kidding. I'm gonna sub a demonstration. Hey, you get back here! You get back here! You get back here! Call 911! Call 911! Call 911! Call 911! Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? This is supposed to be dramatic?
An example of overacting done right is Willem Dafoe as the Green Goblin from Spider-Man.
And also The Lighthouse.
Yep.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Excuse me. The editing is shit. Since it's all over the place. Since it tries way too hard to cut back and forth between the past and the present, and after a while, it just starts to get really, really annoying. If this were like Manchester by the Sea, where they focus on the present first, and then spend half of the film in the past before getting to the present in like the last hour of the film, then I would buy it. But no, it cuts back and forth to both the past and the present, and it's to the point where you don't even know what the hell was going on.
The Godfather Part 2 is a better example of this because it cuts out the past and present parts evenly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. How did I not realize that? The pacing is shit, and it also has cliches up the butt. Since you've seen this done a million times before in other movies. I remember saying this in my original thoughts. This is the most shameless Oscar bait film I've seen since Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close.
Nick, I remember FaceTiming you, and you were disappointed that a Terminator 2 name drop was in there, because both films are of completely different qualities.
Yeah, and word of advice, to quote one of the former cast to quote one of the former contributors, don't reference a better movie that I could be watching in your shitty movie.
Yeah, Star
2 out of
reminded me
10.
of the movies.
Yeah. 2 out of 10. 2 out of 10 or a D. This is one of the worst movies I've seen this year, and it's by far Ron Howard's worst movie. I would rather watch The Dilemma, The Grinch, the Da Vinci Code trilogy in a loop than sit through this piece of garbage ever again.
Which is kind of sad because
how Solo: A Star Wars Story is a better movie than this garbage.
You're right. I actually like Solo.
It's okay.
It's I didn't care for it, but hey, at least you liked it. And I'm happy for you.
Thanks.
Which is kind of sad because for a while that Ron Howard was considered one of the best filmmakers working today. Like, he directed Apollo 13, he directed The Grinch, he directed Beautiful Mind,
A Beautiful Mind, Cinderella Man,
Rush.
Fun fact.
Parenthood.
Fun fact. Ron Howard was considered to direct Star Wars Episode 1 before he suggested to Lucas to do it himself.
Did not know that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think I remember. I remember reading about that.
If Ron Howard directed it, that means Darth Maul would have stayed alive.
Yeah.
Well, he did appear in the Clone Wars and the Rebel shows.
Yes, but I was saying he would still be alive throughout the last two parts of the prequels.
Oh, I see.
Ron Howard, I love you, man, but come on, man, try better next time. And you know what also shocked? You know, before we move on, what also shocked me about this is that this movie was written by Vanessa Taylor, and she wrote one of the best screenplays of 2017, which was The Shape of Water. How do you go from The Shape of Water to this film?
Kind of like how Josh Trank went from Chronicle to Lame Forstick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or when James Ponsoldt directed great movies like The Spectacular Now and The End of the Tour and smashed, only to find himself in one of the worst movies from 2017, The Circle.
Or if the director of the Deer Hunter went on to bankrupt UA artists with his Heaven's Gate.
Yeah, and when Ang Lee made some great movies in the past, like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, The Ice Storm, Sense and Sensibility, and
Brokeback Mountain, Life of Pi.
Brokeback Mountain and Life of Pi, only to end up making billions.
Hell, I'd
Go ahead.
actually consider his Hulk movie to be pretty underrated, and Christian.
Me too.
Yeah, it's just, you know, even though I thought the Hulk movie was just okay, I would rather sit through that movie than sit through Billy Lynn's Long Halftime Walk, and his recent blunder, Gemini Man. I would rather sit through Hulk than sit through Billy Lynn's Long Halftime Walk and Gemini Man ever again.
Or basically Will Smith versus younger Will Smith.
Yeah. I think you guys all get the point by this, but it's pretty baffling when a talented writer or director that you love all of a sudden makes makes a crap film like this.
Yeah.
Oh well. Can't always like win them all and make a great movie for once. It happens a lot. Yeah, one more time. Hillbilly Elegy gets a 2 out of 10 or a D. One of the worst movies I've seen this year, and by far Ron Howard's and Netflix's worst movie so far.
It gets a negative 4 out of 10 or a C- from me. Although I'd say Rebecca and Cuties are far worse.
Don't get me started on those.
I refuse to see Cuties. No thanks. Not even if people pay me 50, 100, or more. No way. No how. No way.
Now the good news is my final 3 movie reviews. Well, my final 3 current movie reviews are of good movies. Now, my first review is of Chadwick Boseman's final performance, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom.
I still need to see that.
Me too.
This has recently got some awards praise, especially considering Boseman. And I gotta say that after finally seeing it for myself, it's good. Nothing really spectacular, but good. It's pretty clear that this was adapted from an August Wilson play, especially with its limited settings and long, drawn-out monologues. But what does keep you attached are the music and performances, especially from Boseman and Viola Davis, who are going to get nominated at the Oscars for sure. The movie itself, though, I don't know. But it does get a moderate recommendation. 8 out of 10, B+. As for my other movie review, now Citizen Kane is considered a landmark in the cinema, if not the greatest movie of all time.
It's my favorite film.
And it's
one of my favorite films too.
One of my favorite movies as well. In fact, let me just, I'll be back. I've got to show you something.
Okay. Do apologize, folks. He has to go get something, but
see, it's right here.
Neat.
Yeah, nice.
Rosebud. I do a great Orson Welles impression.
And its history of how it got made is equally as intriguing as the final product itself. In fact, it even spawned a TV movie in the 90s, RKO 280, I believe. So David Fincher has some shoes to fill when making a biopic about his co-writer, Herman Mankiewicz. And it's safe to say it pulled off. Along with the cast being pitch perfect, especially Gary Oldman and Amanda Seyfried, who better get...
Amanda Seyfried.
Thank you. Amanda Seyfried, who better get Oscar buzz. The best part about this movie is the overall presentation. Everything from the camera work, the music, the production value, and even the sound editing really takes you far back to the 30s and 40s. Altogether, one of the best films of the year so far. And if Fincher doesn't finally get that long-awaited Oscar, it's just another stain on the Academy's reputation. So 10 out of 10, A+.
I cannot wait to see that movie, and I'm really curious since the Criterion Collection now it's like before we move on, I'm really curious now that the Criterion Collection is distributing some of the Netflix originals. I'm really curious if they're gonna pick up this one later on, like next year.
One of the reasons why I'm looking forward to seeing Mank on Blu-ray is that Amanda Seyfried is one of my favorite millennial actresses.
Oh, she's one of my favorites too.
She's been in Mean Girls, and without Mean Girls, then she wouldn't have a career.
Right.
Not to mention that she played arguably the most well-known secondary character.
Yeah, she did.
And she's also a great singer, as seen in Mamma Mia.
I've heard mixed things about Mamma Mia.
Didn't care for Mamma Mia. Nor the second movie.
I respect your opinion.
Yours too.
I respect yours too. Now,
as for my final current movie review, I got hands down what has officially dubbed Tenet as the best film of the year. The Trial of the Chicago 7.
I'm going to be joining Soren on that because it's one of the best movies I've seen this year too.
Guys, if this isn't the movie event of the year, I honestly don't know what is. Aaron Sorkin has always shown himself to be a gifted writer with films such like Steve Jobs and The Social Network and A Few Good Men. But with Miles giving out this, he might just be one up-and-coming director. With a perfect cast, especially Frank Langella and Yahya Abdul-Mateen, who better get some awards attention, a fantastic soundtrack, and excellent cinematography and editing, this is probably the movie we need right here and right now, and it's so far the best movie of the year. I don't care who or where you are, see it now. 10 out of 10, A+.
And now for my take on this, because I saw this a couple days before Christmas and to catch up on some new movies, and I agree with Soren. This is one of the best movies I've seen this entire year. The Trial of the Chicago 7 is one of the most powerful, compelling, and riveting films I've seen this entire year. I mean, Aaron Sorkin has made some great screenplays before, phenomenal screenplays, I should say, such as A Few Good Men, The American President.
You can't handle the truth.
I love that scene. And Charlie Wilson's War, Steve Jobs, and my favorite of his, The Social Network. And he made a wonderful directorial debut in 2017 with Molly's Game. But this I loved even more. The Trial of Chicago 7 is not just one of the best, has not only one of the best screenplays of the year by Aaron Sorkin, but one of the best directions of the year by him too. He did a wonderful job directing this movie. The way he directed this movie and the way he wrote the script with this, unbelievable. It's just flat out amazing. The way he directed this and the way he combines and the way he directs like the things that are in the film, absolutely amazing. And the script that he wrote too is just absolutely amazing too, since it's filled with amazing dialogue, amazing character development, and just amazing tone as well. Like, I should also mention that the when it did get to the humorous moments in the film, it's mostly focused on Sacha Baron Cohen, who, by the way, Sacha Baron Cohen gives out one of the best performances I've seen this year. But I should also argue that Mark Rylance also gives out one of the best supporting performances of the year too, as well as Yahya Abdul-Mateen II. Give this man an Oscar nomination.
I'm officially tied between him and De La Lindo as my favorite leading actor performance of the year.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And Frank Langella, Michael Keaton, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and Jeremy Strong. Also, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt, I don't know if I said his name, but if I didn't, I redeem myself here. They also give out terrific performances in the film. Terrific performances. The soundtrack is great. It's very well shot. It's very well edited. It's very well paced. There's some humorous moments, especially with Sacha Baron Cohen. And the production values and costume design are absolutely terrific. It really feels like you're back in where this movie takes place in 1968.
I completely
very.
I completely
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
agree with you. Even though I haven't seen it, it looks that good, in my opinion.
You should. You should.
Yep.
Folks, to say this is one of the best movies I've seen this year would be an understatement. In my opinion, I would also argue that it's the most important film I've seen this entire year.
Hopefully you'll get added into the National Film Registry 10 years from now.
Hold that
I hope
thought
so, too,
when I
like-
get to this year's films later on.
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah,
speculating.
yeah. And this is a wonderful film. It's one of the year's best movies for sure. And it's one of the most powerful, compelling, well acted, and riveting movies I've seen this year. And it's easily one of the best movies I've seen in 2020, and the most important film I've seen this entire year, without a doubt. And without a doubt. Sorry to keep dragging. The Trial of Chicago 7 gets a 10 out of 10 or an A+. If you have Netflix, this is a must-watch. It's one of the year's best films.
And even
Well done, Aaron.
And even if you don't have Netflix, you can easily find it on certain video sites online.
Yeah.
Now, that's it for my current movie reviews. And now I have one.
Too.
And now I have one classic movie review, and it's gonna be a bit longer to take than the other ones, but whatevs. Now, for those living under a rock the past 10 years, this was kind of a big deal back in the day. With a star cast, stellar marketing, and what has been claimed to be groundbreaking visuals, it's no wonder that it became the globally highest grossing movie at the time. Which is ironic because right when it came out on Blu-ray a year later, we all pretty much forgot about it. And those who still do remember it, bash this movie for being so corny and generic. Anyways, I'm talking about Jane Cameron's Avatar.
Oh my god.
Well, now that I've actually seen it myself, what's my take on it? Well, for the first half, I was kind of on board with it. While the story and characters are so cliche it's not even funny, I was kind of impressed by the visuals and Navi's lifestyle that Jake Sully comes across. And then the second half happened. Any corniness and unoriginality found in the first hour and a half is just multiplied tenfold once the Marines start attacking, with stupid plot points and dialogue, as well as the unbelievability of the Navy easily taking out our advanced warships. The ending was okay, though. Now
They have 2 extended cuts.
I watched the 3-hour cut. That's the one I found online.
Yeah,
Now-
and I honestly thought it was interesting, and I liked the motion capture performance by Zoe Saldana, who recently got a Hollywood Walk of Fame star.
Nice.
What's next? Is she gonna play a red alien? Get it? Because she played Gamora, who's green.
Yeah, we get it.
Now,
Yep.
Let's get my positives out of the way. The cast did pretty okay for what they were given. Probably the standouts are Zoe Saldana, who, as Christian has said, before she played a green alien in the Guardians movies, she got into the spotlight as a blue alien, as well as Stephen Lang, even if his character is... We'll get to that later. Of course, I can't talk about this movie without talking about the hyped as hell visual effects. And they are pretty impressive. Though, would I really call them groundbreaking like everyone says? I don't know. Especially since Lord of the Rings and Sin City previously did greened otherworldly landscapes and motion capture CG characters. And hell, the same company, Weta, perfected them with Lord of the Rings.
It's pronounced Weta.
Weta. And even won 3 Oscars for that.
Yeah.
They also got one for the King Kong remake.
Well deserved. Now as for my negatives.
Both are terrific films.
Yeah. Now for my negatives. What everyone said about this story is 100% right. It's nothing more than Atlantis the Lost Empire, and Ferngully, and Pocahontas, and Dances with Wolves, and Princess Mononoke, and The Last Samurai. Okay, you get it.
But Atlantis and Pocahontas at the time had mixed to negative reviews.
Yeah, and I thought that Atlantis is pretty underrated, and Pocahontas, yeah.
I did not like Pocahontas. I did like Atlantis, but not Pocahontas.
My point is, if you've seen any or all these movies, you can pretty much predict everything that happens to the opening shot to the closing credits. And while the actors themselves are not to blame, every single one of these characters are carbon copy stereotypes. You got the protagonist torn between worlds, the girlfriend from the other world he wants to doom humanity to bang, the self-serious anti-environmentalist villain driven by greed, and so on and so forth. Now, while Avatar may not be terrible by any means, it's certainly not the masterpiece everyone's hyped it up to be.
No,
if you want a truly groundbreaking and thought-provoking sci-fi movie from 2009 that should have won all these awards, including Best Visual Effects, unpopular opinion, District 9. Enough said.
Yes, that had amazing visual effects.
And the fact that James Cameron is still dedicated to making those bajillion sequels sometime, they're gonna bond for sure. We all lost interest the more those things got delayed. Just stop. Just stick to other stuff.
Please stop.
I'd still say see Avatar at least once just to form your own opinion. But as for me, 5 out of 10, C+. Not great, not horrible either.
Yeah, that's pretty much my take on this too. It's not horrible, but it's not really that great. Not really that great. Easily one of the most overrated films ever made.
I wouldn't say overrated because a lot of people did catch on to the screenplay. I'd say more overhyped.
That's fair enough.
And one more thing. Hey, James Cameron, you know it's sad that after your ex-wife beat you at the Oscars, she went on to score twice more with Zero Dark 30 in Detroit, while you're still so dedicated to those bajillion Avatar sequels. How's that feel, huh?
Not exactly bajillion, but 4 to be more accurate. I just get detail-oriented.
I see.
Yeah. Now that's it for all of my movie reviews. And now we're going to get to some discussions. And Christian, you had a little topic to you wanted to discuss for the holidays?
Yes, and have you guys watched Homestar Runner?
Yeah.
Episodes.
Well, there are some good Decemberween themed specials or Christmas themed specials. One of my personal favorites was where Strong Bad describes about the Decemberween Thnicka Man, which is basically Bubs wearing shades and a piece of paper with the letters TH on his chest. And another good Decemberween specials where Homestar attempts to sled down a mountain called the Steep Deep.
Nice.
And one of the more recent ones has Strong Bad as Dangeresque teaming up with the Cheat Commandos to defeat Stingy Relink, played by Homester Runner, who's taken all the Hot Jones, which is basically hot chocolate.
Nice.
I like calling hot chocolate Hot Jones.
That's good.
Yes. And, I just got an autograph from my pal Josh Martin, the voice of Majin Buu.
That's amazing.
I'll go
That's
show
awesome.
you right now.
Okay.
Christian, meet you up! Boo!
Holy shit! Wow.
Boo no swear!
That's awesome that you got that autograph.
Did you know that Josh Martin was the actor of Barney the Dinosaur?
Didn't know that.
I actually did not know all that. And I really wish I didn't because, well, we don't need to bring that up.
Understandable, but... And we're going to be saying the movies that were entered in the National Registry this month.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Now, as far as some of you know, the national film industry basically showcases a bunch of movies that they argued to be significant and important to our history, or at least the history of movies. And as for each year, they've added 25 films. Now, let me just list them off. Number 1, Suspense from 1913. Not familiar with it. Number 2, Kid Auto Races at Venice. Never heard of it. Number 3, Bread, 1918. Number 4, The Battle of the Century, 1927. Number 5, With Clara and Camera Around the World, 1929. Number 6, Cabin in the Sky, 1943. Number 7, Outrage, 1950. Number 8, now I've heard this movie, I just didn't get around to watching it. The Man with the Golden Arm.
That's a good one.
Number 9, Lilies of the Field, 1963. And this is where Sidney Poitier won his Oscar, isn't it? Yeah, I believe so. Number 10. Number 10 is one of Kubrick's best, A Clockwork Orange.
That deserved to be on there. It's definitely one of his very best for sure.
Number 11, Sweet Sweetback's Badass Song, 1971. Number 12, Watts Tax, 1973. Never heard of it. Number 13, Grease.
My dad loves that one. He and I saw it at a drive-in at summer.
Nice.
Number 14, We're on a Mission from God. The Blues Brothers.
The Blues Brothers.
The Blues Brothers. Well deserved to be on there.
Nick is from Illinois, so I bet he
Yes.
must be happy.
Yep.
Number 15, Losing Ground, 1982. Number 16, Illusions, 1982. Number 17, The Joy Luck Club, 1993. Not familiar.
Yeah.
Number 18, The Devil Never Sleeps, 1994. Number 19, Buena Vista Social Club, 1999. Number 20, The Ground, 1993 to 2001. Number 21, Shrek.
Yes!
Yeah. Yeah.
That was the very first movie I saw in theaters ever.
Cool.
Well deserved to be on there.
Number 22, Mauna Kea Temple Under Siege, 2006. Number 23, The Hurt Locker.
That deserves
Yes!
to be in there.
Yeah,
Number
one
24,
of the best movies
Yeah.
ever made, in my opinion.
one of the best movies of 2009, too.
Yeah,
Number 24, my favorite movie of all time.
The Dark Knight.
Yep.
yeah.
And number 25, Freedom Fighters, 2010.
Nice.
And now we're getting onto this trend on ranking all the Best Picture winners of each decade. This episode, I'm gonna be ranking all the 1940s Best Picture winners from worst to best. Number 10 is Going My Way. Number 9, Gentleman's Agreement. Number 8, Hamlet by Laurence Olivier.
Laurence Olivier.
Yes, thank
Laurence
you.
Olivier.
Number 7, Mrs. Miniver. Number 6. Now, I know this beat Citizen Kane at the Oscars, but I still think it's a damn good movie on its own. How Green Is My Valley?
That's a good one.
Number 5, All the King's Men. Just mentioned it. Number 4, Rebecca. Here's to you, Netflix. Here's to you. Number 3, The Lost Weekend. Number 2, The Best Years of Our Lives. And number 1, Casablanca.
That's a
Nice.
classic.
It is a classic.
Sam!
Now, as to conclude this episode, I have 2 lists to go over just in time for the holidays. The top 12 best Christmas movies, as well as the top 12 worst Christmas movies. Now, which one do you want me to go over first?
Let's go the cruddy ones first.
Okay.
Worst.
All right. So, as for dishonorable mentions, I have The Star from the makers of the Emoji Movie, The Grinch by Illumination, Home Alone 5, The Holiday Heist, not quite as bad as 3 or 4, but still not good. The movie that Michael Keaton made between being Batman and Birdman, Jack Frost. Next, I have Reindeer Games with Ben Affleck. Rudolph should be more than lucky that they didn't let him play along on these games. Next, I have Beauty and the Beast 2 and then Christmas. Still not as bad as Belle's Magical World, though.
At least Forte, voiced by Tim Curry, became a fan favorite. In fact, in my opinion, I think he should have been in the first Beauty and the Beast movie.
Next is Rover Dangerfield with Rodney Dangerfield.
My pal Carrie Means loves Rodney Dangerfield. He's the voice of Frylock.
Next, I have one of the.
I don't get no respect.
Next, I have one of the most unnecessary sequels ever, A Christmas Story 2. Next, I have Rasa Gaisnow's Home Alone 3. Stick to editing, man. Just saying.
Yeah, I saw to sum it up really quick. I saw Home Alone 3. It was shit.
Next, I have the Star Wars Holiday Special. No wonder George Lucas wants this buried.
They did mention Life Day in the first Mandalorian episode, though.
And and last but probably least, the one that almost made it, the Nutcracker: The Untold Story, otherwise known as the Nutcracker 3D. Nazi Nutcracker, just saying.
And another good dishonorable mention is 8 Crazy Nights, produced by Happy Masson. One thing I really liked about it is that it's done by the animators of The Iron Giant, and the animation is spectacular.
I absolutely love the animation in it.
Yes, and fun fact, Whitey Duvall didn't originate from 8 Crazy Nights. Did you know that?
I actually did not know that.
He originated from an audio sketch made by Adam Sandler back in 1999, and he had the same voice. And he also appeared in Lil Nicky, but he was played by Dana Carvey.
I did not know that.
I did not know that either.
Now on to the bottom 12. Number 12, The Nutcracker and the Four Realms. Yes, this is worse than the 3D one.
It was bad.
Number 11, we just mentioned it, 8 Crazy Nights. Number 10, another Ben Affleck movie, Surviving Christmas.
Oh my god. That movie was awful.
Number 9, Christmas with the Cranks.
JonTron made a review of it, and it's pretty good.
Yeah, it was really funny.
Chris
He's
Columbus.
one of my favorite voices to imitate. Let's tape.
Quick reminder that Chris Columbus dropped out of Prison of Azkaban to write this crap. Number 8.
Why, man? Why?
Yeah. Number 8, Four Christmases.
Oh my god.
Number 7, the Nostalgia Critic recently did a review of this one, Deck the Halls.
Death the Halls is one of the worst.
Number 6, I'll Be Home for Christmas.
Oh my god.
Number 5, Black Christmas 2019.
Fuck this movie. Fuck this movie for shoving its political agenda down our throats.
Number 4 is, ironically, Home Alone 4. Number 3, The
Why did they do
Christmas
that?
Tree. Number 2, Kirk Cameron Saving Christmas.
Oh my god.
And number 1 is one of my rare 0 out of 10s. A Medea Christmas.
Fuck that movie.
And that animated one from 2002, The Rhapsody Kids, is a dishonorable mention. And why is that? Grey Delisle blocks anybody who says anything about her involvement in it.
Oh.
And now we're going to conclude this podcast with the top 12 best Christmas movies. As for honorable mentions, I have Little Women 2019, A Christmas Story, Eyes Wide Shut.
That's a good one. Fidelio.
Carol with the...
Kate Blanchett?
Yes.
Kate Blanchett.
How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the Jim Carrey version.
Ron Howard directed it, 2000.
Next I have Bill Murray's Scrooged. The
Very
Polar,
underrated.
yeah. The Polar Express by Robert Zemeckis.
Another underrated film.
The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo 2011.
David Fincher.
Arthur Christmas. One of my biggest guilty pleasures, Jingle All the Way. Put that cookie down now. Home Alone 2. The first 2 Santa Clauses. The 1994 version of Miracle on 34th Street. Any other version of A Christmas Carol, and Elf, and the original Lethal Weapon.
Nice. Let me before you do get to your top 10. Let me do that. Let me do that impression really quick. Put that cookie down. No.
What? I just want that cookie. Santa likes cookies, you know.
Put that cookie down. No.
Now we're gonna get to the top 12. Number 12, how famed that the one that begins this movie. The one that begins this list is about the first Christmas, the Nativity Story. Just mentioned it.
Nice.
Number 11, the true best animated feature winner of 2012, Rise of the Guardians. Not Brave.
Brave is overrated.
Number 10, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
That's a very funny film.
Number 9, Milk on 34th Street, the 1947 version.
A classic.
Number 8, Shazam. Number 7, Edward Scissorhands.
My
Nice.
friend Jacob M. Keane likes that.
Number 6, The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Henry Selick directed it, but Tim Burton wrote the characters and story.
Number 5 is one of my favorite foreign films, Joyous Noel.
Good one.
That's a great movie.
Number 4, I'm just so glad that the extended cut is finally getting a Blu-ray release. The Muppet Christmas Carol.
That's another good one.
Number 3, the original Home Alone.
Nice.
Number 2 is Die Hard.
Yeah.
And my number 1, without question, It's a Wonderful Life.
A classic.
Those are great picks.
Yeah, man. Those are great picks.
Yeah, thanks.
And I usually have a yearly tradition. By December, since 2018, I watch Die Hard every December.
Sweet.
I now have a machine gun. Ho, ho, ho.
Come out to the coast. We'll get together, have a few laughs.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
He says that on the radio while talking to Hans.
Okay, motherfucker. So that'll do it. So looks like that'll do it for this podcast. I had a lot of fun doing this. I hope you guys did too. And before we go, I do have something to say. Well, since I'm going to be catching up on some movies, next month. Now, even though I'm not doing the best of list until March, next month, Soren and I did agree to this. We're going to talk about the 10 worst movies that came out in 2020. So that'll be saved for next month when we do episode 13. So be on the lookout for that.
Which will probably give me ample time to watch some more bad movies from 2020, just to fill up my list.
Yeah, I have 19 films on my worst of list, and I only have one more to fill out. So, So yeah, stay tuned because next month in January when we do episode 13, we will talk about the 10 worst movies of 2020. Yeah, but I also want to talk about it in an informative matter rather than just like getting all angry about it. There might be a few outbursts, but not that much. Yeah. So that'll do it for this podcast for real. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you like what you see here, give this video a like and a thumbs up. Subscribe for more, and be sure to subscribe to FilmBrony on his Boy Thunder Productions channel and Christian Frates on his YouTube channel.
Christian Frates on my Christian Frates channel.
Christian Frates, thank you. Just give them the love they absolutely deserve, and until we meet again for episode 13, hope you all have a great new year, and hoping that 2021 is a good year. And as always, peace out and happy holidays, guys.
Thanks.
See you in 2021.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.